with, but I think I'm just going to go with my initial thought of welcome back to the show where we tell you about all of the things the actors were in this movie in other movies.
6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon.
It's always it was that person, that was in this movie and that movie, which is pretty funny.
But this movie only has one kind of famous person in it.
I would say there was another one, but we'll get into that. My name is Vox. Welcome to Pick It and Flick It.
I'm Luke.
I'm Natasha.
Oh. What did we watch today?
Well, in the most on-brand thing we do, we are massively late to the party once again, and we are talking about the 2022 smash hit, up for Oscar nominations, made $1 billion at the box office, and beloved by audiences and fans alike, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022.
When was this movie supposed to 2020, right? Wasn't it initially supposed to be out in 2020?
It was supposed to go to theaters.
Right, that's what I'm saying. In 2020.
Sure.
And then, impending doom happened, and they're just like, never mind, Netflix can have it.
I tried to stay away from a lot of the stuff until we had a chance to see it, but I did read that it was filmed in Bulgaria because, I guess Texas was too hard, and the original directors were fired almost immediately.
Oh.
Really? Because I guess what the producers saw of the footage was awful.
Not good.
I don't know what the fuck they refilmed, but
here
we are.
Me either. I think we've branded ourselves as a horror review channel, similar to what Confused Reviews has done.
Oh my God, that guy sucks.
Yeah, he does suck, but he's branded himself as a horror enthusiast.
He didn't want to get pigeonholed, but it
did, and that's why we started this show, and yet here we are again. Reviewing strictly.
Well, yeah, because in 8 years when I come around to doing this movie with the full Confused Reviews treatment, it will at least have this to fondly
I would say you
remember.
could throw back and say back 10 years ago,
our almost immediate thoughts.
We did this.
Well, horror movies are easy to talk about,
and they're fun.
Yeah.
But we should save some for the Halloween extravaganza.
The Halloween extravaganza that never will happen because we're too busy of people all the time. I was thinking about this, not to go on a tangent here, but can I release some of the ones that we recorded? Like, why not, right? You don't have thumbnails for them,
we could always use those for 2022. And then
we better start now.
Yeah, we should have started last year. Well, I mean, this is the least viewed podcast maybe on the entire planet. So
no, there's a couple other ones. There's a couple other ones. So the chick who was from or in 8th grade, the Bad Bo Burnham movie.
No one knows what that movie is.
It was a pretty big.
It's a big movie.
Only you and Luke know.
And she's also in Ready for It, Despicable Me 1 and 2. She's the voice of Agnes.
Okay.
So we have a big star on our hands here.
That's big time.
In a very bad movie.
Yeah.
There was portions of this movie that were redeeming. However,
so you and I are seasoned vets to not only the TCM series but horror and slasher movies as a whole.
Yes.
So we've seen the bottom of the barrel, and
we've seen a couple.
To just briefly kind of jump ahead a moment, this movie definitely is not the worst in this series.
No.
And
would you, not to spoil it, but would you put this over 3D? Like, is this better than 3D?
That's the one I've been kind of wrestling with since the movie ended. Was I definitely liked it more than Next Generation. I definitely liked it more than Leatherface. But I don't know, because Alexandra Daddario instantly makes me enjoy the movie just a little bit. So, I don't know. I really like the opening scene of Texas 3D. I like the attention to detail. I like that we were able to have
and we saw some throwback
the
characters
alums before, of course, Gunnar Hansen and Marilyn Burns, who we'll get into, who is in this movie, actually.
Oh.
Well, there was not a single person in this movie that was nice to look at.
Yeah, there was.
When Leatherface
didn't have his mask
I was going to say, when he's the hottest one in the movie, you know you got a problem.
Yeah, Leatherface was great to look at when he didn't wear the face.
He was not.
He had some nice yellow contacts going on.
Yeah, and he had a little bit of a beard.
Yeah,
so that was okay.
No.
But
what about the redneck guy?
Oh, he was okay.
See? Huh?
Yeah, but when you're saying that the redneck was the best looking person in the movie,
you hear it here 1st, everyone.
We've got it locked in. But I don't know if Vox did, but I told him earlier today that I was going to make some predictions for what I thought we were going to see. And my very first one, of course, was something that was very apparent just from the trailer, that this movie was very much influenced, get it? Because that's the main character.
Yeah.
By the actual smash hit of Halloween 2018.
The thing that we see a lot in the movie realm now is the same thing that we get influenced by everything else. If it's not a remake, it's a reboot, and if it's not a reboot, it's a remake. But also, Spider-Man was really successful, so now we have to do the multiverse thing. But also, Halloween was really successful, so now we have to do the prequel, sequel, erase the timeline, make a new timeline thing with all these new characters. That's a sequel to the original one that came out 40 years ago.
Yeah, so I actually had a little tally going on that we were calling out while the movie was going on, and we had 8 or maybe 9 tallies for just completely lifted concepts, scenes, and characters coming back and shit that was just almost verbatim stolen from 2018 Halloween.
Well, you can't have a character come back and not have them be the actual actress.
It just doesn't make any sense.
See, that's the big one, is Marilyn Burns, who played Sally in maybe the greatest horror film of all time, the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's not my favorite, but I can definitely make the case for it.
Everyone knows it's my favorite.
It's very good. It's so well made, and it's such a strange idea that was very clearly a corporate or a producer decision to bring back this legacy character that people know. We just saw it with Scream. We saw it with Halloween. I'm sure we'll see it with Elm Street when they come back. Heather Langenkamp will pop in for a scene or God knows what. But
Johnny Depp will come back to life.
Yeah, exactly. He'll reemerge from the bed, all intact, because he already looks like he got shredded just from his face now.
Aww.
But sorry, Johnny.
Poor guy.
Fuck Amber. She's a cunt. Anyway,
True.
the idea of bringing back Sally isn't inherently bad.
No.
On paper, but the fact that Marilyn Burns passed away nearly a decade ago should have been the immediate, maybe we shouldn't do this idea, because that's
Right, like why not bring back like a sheriff or something that saved her?
We'll see that.
Or whatever.
It's funny you say that, because we could have brought back Stretch, played by Caroline Williams, I think. Is that her name? She plays Stretch in Texas Chainsaw 2, and she looks great. Last time I saw her, Bill Moseley, who we of course know from Devil's Rejects, and
Carolyn Williams, right?
Yep, and he played Chop Top in Part 2, a fan favorite who's probably on par with Leatherface in terms of fan love.
Sidetrack here. Yeah. When we went to Universal Horror Nights in 2021, I remember when we walked through and saw Chop Top, I was like, oh, fuck.
We literally looked at each other. We were like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, I remember being pretty,
because like I feel like he's finally like pushed himself into like almost mainstream, like people know him. You know,
and he's like pop culture. You know, like he's in the pop culture of the horror scene now. Like you get T-shirts with him on it. You know, he's
definitely more well known.
He's kind of like there, and not to mention though, like Bill Moseley is such a fucking weirdo. Like he
definitely loves the movies too.
Well, like, we were doing like our review of the Rob Zombie Terrible trilogy. You know, we were like
the Firefly trilogy.
Oh, excuse me.
How dare you?
You know, when we were going through that like portion of the stuff, he fucking kills it, man. Like that, he's so good in such terrible movies.
Yeah.
You know, even Army of Darkness.
Yeah, he plays the dead-eyed captain with one eye.
Yeah. I mean, he's just this like staple that keeps being placed around. So
yeah, he's definitely a horror vet.
They missed an opportunity.
Well, because that was one of my predictions, was that there would be a cameo from one of the alive people.
Aside from the one that we knew
Didn't
already.
it skip, though? You said that it just went from the first movie until now.
So yeah.
Anything that happened in between didn't happen.
Yeah, but they could have like alluded to an extension of the timeline. Again, going back to the multiverse thing.
Well, not even that. You could have just acted like it was directly, and then Chop Top pops in.
Oh,
right, directly after the second one.
Yeah. I mean, like anything would have been better than
recasting.
And it's not even like just bringing her back was bad, but like the reason you bring back these legacy characters is so that they can have that final battle with Ghostface or Michael Myers, and instead she gets absolutely fucking obliterated.
Well, and it's like if you're trying, like people, they're trying to get like the nostalgia out of it.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
yeah.
You're supposed to be excited to see Jamie Lee Curtis, you know, as a 50-year-old woman now when she was a teenager when the movie first came out.
Yeah.
Like, you're seeing this random lady who was not relevant.
Well, she was in Mandy.
Okay.
And she's also in Crimes of Grindelwald, which I know is like not really. I mean,
she's
film.
random to Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah. Apparently, she's in Northman too, the new one that's coming out.
Right.
But she kind of gives.
She's
that,
also playing Sally in that movie.
Yeah, she's also. She looks like the type of person who would be like kind of cast in some kind of savagery role. I've never seen Mandy. Have you seen Mandy?
Yeah. Mandy was good.
Okay. I mean, I haven't seen it, but I can imagine by the trailer.
Picture where she was exactly, but every time I think of Mandy, I just think of red Nick Cage.
Yeah, that's all blood covered.
We talked
Nick
about
Cage.
this already because I said Mandy's a Jonas Brothers song.
Great.
Unless I'm having deja vu.
You might be. I'm not sure. The only redeeming quality of this movie.
Yeah, because the characters stunk.
Yes.
They were dumb. They were unlikable.
Yes.
They had no sense of any logic, and they literally caused the inciting incident of Leatherface returning because they tried to forcibly remove an old woman from her house, and she has a heart attack and dies.
But who we later find out has the legal right to be there.
So they literally killed her for no reason.
Yeah, there was no reason to die.
Well, and nothing was ever explained as to why they were there.
Well, they're chefs.
They got pulled over, and they said that they were chefs, and then they invite all of these people, and they're doing an auction for what?
Because my first note was influencers ? But then that gets completely thrown out the window because then they turn out to be chefs, which I thought they were going to be like fucking YouTube vloggers or something.
Yeah, and they're not.
But where's the kitchen?
I don't know.
They grilled a bunch of corn.
They weren't even there.
Didn't you see? They grilled corn.
Yeah, they were both in the building getting fucking chopped up.
They were grilling corn though, so that makes there was food in the movie, which means it's valid.
Yep. And we noticed that the set looked awful, and we predicted very early on that they were not going to step foot in nearly any of those buildings.
No, it was 2 buildings, and you could tell every time they went into the buildings.
There was the movie theater, the garage, and Leatherface's house. Yeah. And that was it.
And they were not on like sight on scene. Like you know when you walked, like when the actors were walking through those buildings, it's just cardboard.
Fucking Shameless was better at merging the gap of
with the house
to real location.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I just couldn't imagine having to be okay, guys. Pretend like you're walking into a house, but you walk through and it's a piece of plywood stapled against a piece of cardboard leaning against a building. You know,
it was cardboard cut out the town.
That's what it looked like. Portion, and I pointed this out to you guys. There was a portion where it kind of like shoots down the street, and you can see the buildings in the background. Yeah. Like you cannot see depth to the buildings. No. Like you can't see the alleyways. The buildings just end.
And behind the alley, you can see it's just field. There's nothing there.
Well, I would even argue that I thought I saw a warehouse at some point. Like this was supposed to be a sound stage, but they're just outside of like a couple of warehouses.
That was the production trailers where they all stay.
Yeah, absolutely. It just looked like the buildings were just flat, and then there was warehouses behind it. It was a bit much.
I could not believe some of the stuff because there were certain shots and certain scenes, certain situations that I really liked and had some very clear passion and talent.
The sunflower field was cool.
Aside
I really
from
liked
that awful composite shot that I definitely where he comes up and then it immediately cuts away because they knew that sucks.
Yeah, that's not it literally looked, because I thought, and that's the like cover photo on Netflix. That's
a lot of the promotional stuff.
I thought
that
was
part of the cut that they had to redirect.
Yeah, oh yeah, you know it. I thought it was photoshopped. Like they just cut magic wanded him out of a picture and put him into another picture.
Well, it's so weird because that shot immediately after is the really cool one of him walking onto the road, and you see the storm clouds coming in. He's walking towards the town. Like that was great.
I'm still wondering if that storm was real or not.
I don't know, but like even like the because we were wondering if we were gonna get a Leatherface door slam, but they like one up it by having the swinging door, and you see the action, and then he pops out. Like that was neat.
Cool. Mm-hmm. I will say that, like I was saying earlier, the only redeeming quality in this movie are the kills.
Yes,
and the gore. Mm-hmm. I mean, they They did a good job with it, and I think they're kind of taking that, creative influence from some of the more recent, because Halloween, oh boy.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, both 2018 and Kills, holy shit. Like, those kills were brutal. And we talked about this in our cinematic catch-up episode. Scream has a couple of good kills.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the gore is on top. It's on par with that. So I'm glad they're kind of taking that, but Jesus Christ. I mean, there's so many more things.
They're getting better to where it's like it's no longer as corny or as predictable.
There's so many things they could have done.
And can we give the movie props? There was a Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, finally.
We never get that in these movies.
No.
It's a goddamn name, and I think in the original, Franklin's the only one who gets chainsawed. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Aside from the truck driver guy, but
you know what? The way that this massacre in this movie kind of happens is cool, because to me, it's like shooting fish in a barrel, and he kind of just goes for it.
Yeah.
You know, he's throwing like limbs over his shoulders at some point. He shoves the chainsaw through the guy's dick and then like kind of fucks the girl with it.
It reminded me of Friday Part 2 when he stabs the spear through the dude who's fucking the one girl and it goes through the bed.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's a great kill.
Yep.
That's a great kill.
Yeah. What did I say? Chainsaw shish kebab.
Yes.
Something like that.
Yeah, that was good. I appreciated that. The first kill is I think the best one, where he snaps the guy's arm and then
uses
stabs.
The bone.
Yeah, uses his sharp bone as like a knife to kill him.
Well, I really liked spoilers.
If we haven't been talking about it already.
What was his name? Douchey McRed Herring, I think I called him.
Richard? No.
Richter.
Richter.
I liked that. Immediately I knew they were going to try to tease the idea that maybe he'll be...
I was hoping he'd be bad.
But I knew after Leatherface, nobody liked that twist where he was a young, attractive man when that's not what Leatherface is. I liked that he just gets fucking legs snapped backwards and then he just fucking beats him to death.
Yeah, that kill was probably my second favorite because he just caves his head in. And it's a repetitive thing. You know, it's like
he's just angry.
1, 2, 3.
Well, yeah, because when he first died, you were like, oh, that was boring. And then he just was like, boom, boom, boom.
And he's just head goo.
But you know what? I was hoping that he'd... Again, I guess I was wishing that the family would come into this.
Yeah, and that was
he would have been a part family.
That's the weird thing is none of these movies, aside from like the remake, Part 3.
Yeah.
A lot of the sequels seem to just like completely ignore the family, but the family is probably the coolest aspect of the movie. Like Leatherface is almost like a sidekick to the more crazy, like the hitchhiker and the cook and all of those characters.
And the big thing too, and this is what they do really bad in 3D, is the fact that they use Leatherface as the defense mechanism, because you have the entire family of craziness cannibals, but they're not strong and they're not intelligent. Where we have Leatherface, who although is the big tall dummy, he's super strong. He's almost invincible, as we see in this movie. He gets shot a whole bunch of times and gets a chainsaw uppercut to the face.
Yep.
But
that's a new one.
He's the bodyguard and he loves and cares about the rest of them. They show it again in this movie, but we've seen it in the others where he kind of is like, sad about a death in the family and like upset about, these characters that are not being taken care of and someone's like upsetting them, so it upsets him. And that's why I think I like Leatherface the most. Like, I know Freddy is your favorite. Is Freddy yours too?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you guys have the Freddy, love going on here. Where Leatherface to me is this very strange, misunderstood savage, but at the same time he's highlighted in very slim portions of each movie to be this human, because he just needs love.
Obviously, that has some of the implications of why he wears the masks.
Yeah, absolutely.
He just wants to be someone else. He wants to be accepted, and he just never will.
I love that.
And you know what I just thought of, now that you explained it that way? You know who would have been great to direct a Leatherface movie?
Tell me.
Tim Burton.
No.
He's got a real handle on the Misfits.
I mean, because even Edward Scissorhand, if you think about it, is the perfect character
that was
to explain.
what popped in there.
Yeah.
Him, even Ed Wood, like before.
Oh yeah.
Before Tim Burton turned to schlock, he really had Beetlejuice. Fuck, I mean.
Yeah.
He's got a handle on the weird.
We're supposed to be getting a second one of those soon, or something.
Oh yeah, we have since the first one came out.
Yeah, right. So we'll be seeing that a lot. No, and I think that's a good like kind of fan wish to see a Tim Burton Leatherface spinoff, because let's be real, he would probably kill it if he did a Freddy movie.
Yes.
He'd probably kill it. But I
get
think,
Bo Welsh, who did the production design on all those, even The Cat in the Hat. Bo Welsh directed my favorite film, The Cat in the Hat. He'd be great. He could do all the set pieces. And
that's not a bad movie, man.
That's my favorite film maybe ever. No.
Stop it.
I definitely have seen it more times than I think is healthy.
Yeah.
I love that
I think
movie.
everyone's seen it more times than it's healthy.
It was too ahead of its time.
Am I the only person that thinks that the house was in a weird place?
Well, yeah, because it seems like they wanted to have the same kind of structure as the farmhouse from the first one, but then it's in the middle of this weird ass town, and there was like 3 rooms.
Right, like why?
It was a foster home.
I was feeling like it should have been more like House of Wax, where it's like there's a town, but then you go up a hill, and then the house is up that hill.
Yeah.
But it was just like a plaza, and then there's a house connected to the plaza. Well, yeah, because
like he said it was a foster home, but it was clearly meant to be like his stomping grounds, where because that's where the fucking chainsaw was hidden. That
but even a
reminded
foster
me of Rob
home
Zombie's.
Is like standalone.
Well,
I don't know. It was weird.
I think in the middle of the town is strange. I was trying to get a vibe on what was going with this picture, because the picture was shown 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, multiple times.
And his face is obviously scratched out of it, and he's always in the shadow, but he looks bigger. So did they, after the first one, did they take him as like some kind of special needs kid?
Something. And
stuff him in a foster home? Because obviously his mental capacity is not there, so he would be able to just continue his life, and someone.
What about the family?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like we don't have. It's like this very strange, like spider webbed going in 2 different directions from the initial thoughts and feelings.
It would be like if they don't mention Loomis at all in Halloween 2018.
Right. Yeah,
that's the equivalent.
Just be like, what the fuck are you talking
about?
Where did everything go?
It seems like they had like certain ideas and certain like plot points they wanted to tackle in this completely erasing the canon legacy sequel. But then they didn't really have much to do or say other than trying to
anything else to
do the race stuff. And
this story was so fucking messy.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't follow a damn thing that was going on.
It was weird because like it starts off, and I hate using this term, but it was trying to tackle like woke stuff, right?
No, you're right. It was 100% woke,
and it kind of fizzled out of that. And then at one point, like because the main girl, her sister had survived a school shooting, and
there's too much woke all in one.
I wouldn't even say that. It was like they were doing the school shooting plot device, and I was waiting for some sort of payoff, but then it like 180s, and then she becomes like the gun-toting badass right-wing lady
to load the gun.
I don't know. It was very strange because like I was honestly expecting more what happened with Sally to happen with the young girl. She's got the gun, she's got him on the ropes, and then she just can't do it. Her trauma won't allow it, right?
Yeah.
But instead, the lady who's been hunting him for 50 years can't muster up the courage to shoot him.
Right.
Yeah, that was very strange. But she ends up shooting him, so she lets him go as he just picks up the chainsaw and walks away.
Walks past her.
He was completely uninterested
and was just like, "Yeah, fuck you, dumb bitch. I don't care. I'm after the young ones." And then she shoots him, and then he's like, "Owie, now I have to kill you."
Yeah.
And probably takes one of the most brutal deaths in the movie. Not well done, in my opinion. Like, the creativeness is where it gets me.
Yeah.
He just lifts her above his head and sprays blood all over himself. Like, okay, cool.
It's baffling.
And then throws her like a supersonic, some sort of Mortal Kombat character.
There were a lot of moon gravity kills in this
like
movie.
He was just so strong.
Yeah.
And then she's alive for 10 more, years. And after getting her lungs chopped in half with a chainsaw, and somehow redeems herself by shooting him again and then giving the gun to the... and then you know what? On the Mortal Kombat topic, we literally see a character get thrown down a flight of stairs via hammer.
Well, because the hammer is thrown down and it hits her, and she flies back.
And then through the ground, and then she just gets up and crawls away.
Crawls underneath the house.
If you were hit with a hammer in any sense of force in the chest,
Yeah.
you would be fucked for an extensive period of time.
Especially a small, petite female lady
Yes.
who's getting hit on the middle of the stairs.
Played by Sarah Yarkin, who was in Happy Death Day to You.
That's my favorite of the two. Because it's Back to the Future with slasher stuff going on.
Spin around timeline things. I don't know, man. We haven't done this in a long time, but should we do the 3 likes and dislikes?
Oh, boy. All right.
It's been a minute.
All right. Come back to me.
Come back to you. Do you have any 3 likes and dislikes, Tosh, or should I start here?
So I feel like ours are kind of going to be similar.
They're all going to be the same. I know it right now.
The kills.
Yep.
Obviously.
Yep.
These are likes.
Yes.
Kills.
Kills are terrible.
Kills were great.
Yeah, right.
I did like the abandoned movie theater.
Because you like abandoned shit.
Yeah.
So set design. That's a good set design.
Yeah, for just the movie theater, but the rest. I also didn't get why there was a fucking pond in the middle of the movie theater.
Oh yeah, I didn't get that.
And then
it
the
looks
third.
Wow.
This just sums up the movie
It
right
does.
here.
This gives us the
kills
reason.
And that was my final little log line here at the bottom of my notes was great kills, awful script and story.
It was terrible.
Yeah. I liked the beginning where they were like kind of like aiming at it being like there being a documentary or like a I don't know.
The first
crime,
10, 15
Oh yeah, it was
minutes
great. It's
very
good setup.
promising,
The setup
yeah.
is great. The downfall is bad. I mean,
I didn't think so though, because the whole like you got a big cock because you have a diesel truck or you carry around a gun.
I've
or
seen
whatever.
bigger, she says.
when Tosh says cock, it just disturbs me.
It just tickles your
no,
brain
I don't.
in the wrong
it,
way.
It makes me uncomfortable.
Why?
I don't know. It's just such a dirty word coming out of your mouth.
Cock.
Ugh. I want to say that. Oh, go ahead.
Do you want me to do my dislikes or you want to go?
Oh, I was gonna go around likes and then dislikes.
Okay, go.
All right, my likes here. Sound design.
I was going to say, I like the music and the sound design.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
The score was good, but the sound design was better.
Yeah.
When I don't even know his damn name, Dante, when he gets his face carved up.
Yeah, he's gurgling.
And he's gurgling and stuff, and then he sticks to the ground, and he magically comes awake after getting his face carved in half. And pulls himself off the ground, just like the macaroni and cheese separation sound.
Same when the lady was getting her face cut off.
Oh yeah, that's right. When the mama is getting her face chopped off. I mean, just gorgeous sound design.
Yeah.
There are very seldom times where I'm sitting in a horror movie going, "Wow, I like the sound of that blood." You know what I mean? You know, and that's an alluding fact at how fucking awful this movie was because we're paying attention to the sound of blood.
Yeah.
Okay. I agree. The kills are obviously the fucking best thing about this movie. And my third thing is, to be honest with you, I didn't mind the guy who played Leatherface, Mark Burnham. He was all right. He's a big dude.
He was good with the material.
And he's, for what he was given, I think he did justice to the OG, especially those chainsaw swings at the end.
And you know what? I'll say a like that none of you said. I actually didn't mind his face. The old lady leathery mask.
Oh, really?
I actually didn't hate it.
I fucking hated it.
I thought it was gonna look bad after seeing like the stills.
Exactly. From all the posters and the trailers, but it kind of ended up winning me over because it was so like just kind of it looked like Droopy Dog. It just looked kind of sad and pathetic, and that kind of piggybacked off the movie because like there were the scene where he's sitting there crying and he's upset and he's wild, and that felt in character to me.
It was. I mean, it was in character.
Well,
and you and I kind of argued about that for a minute because like we're trying to figure out what the best setup for that.
Because that's one of my favorite in the original is when he's fucking screaming in the house and there's all those cool zoom in shots and stuff. So I didn't mind it.
And you don't just take someone's face off and then it fits your face perfectly. So
no, I get it. It just I don't know. I didn't like the design of it. But I'm picky, so what can I say? As my favorite horror icon, I'm going to be picky, okay?
You're
all right? Dislikes. I think we're all in the same boat here.
Yeah, let them
really
know.
Don't.
What did we not like?
Storyline. Absolutely atrocious. I couldn't follow any of it. I didn't know what was going on, how it was happening, and why it was happening. Just bad. Essential set design for the outer reaches of the whole thing. I think when we're in close quarters, the set design is fine considering the fact that we're in close quarters. Even the bus was cool with the neon lights.
Right.
Yeah.
But like the big, like the town that they're supposed to be in, goddamn, like
the
put
main
some fucking time into
setting.
Yeah, not
looks
good.
awful.
Not good. Not good. And then last but not least, the overall acting and character development of these. Everything besides
terrible.
Leatherface.
Ms.
fucking
Fisher
awful.
was very bad. in
Oh,
this.
man. Just so.
And
so
here's
bad.
another dislike. When the floorboard sequence was happening, not only does Leatherface cut the shit pipe,
Oh, my
literally,
God. I forgot about that.
But here's the other thing we forgot.
Okay.
Remember when the chainsaw just goes silent and then randomly
that's
appears
right.
again?
Yeah, because they're
wrote that.
trying to do the horror thing.
Yeah, you gotta
where
have the...
everything gets loud all
All
of a
that
sudden.
needed was a cat to fly underneath the...
Yeah, right, exactly. Because everything just gets loud all of a sudden. Because that's the way you scare people,
Yep.
thanks to The Conjuring. Just get loud again.
Like I just talked about in my It video, scares are measured in how loud they are.
Yeah, and you're right about that. I mean, and you even have like the counter going
Yep.
on in the video.
I think there was like 15 or 16
Oh God,
jump
that
scares
was
in It.
It was really.
Wow.
It's just not good. How we rate things around here
In these parts.
is real simple. We give it a 1 out of 10, and we also say
Or 0.
or 0. I don't think we've ever given anything a 0.
Yeah, I'd be real hard pressed.
Yeah, there is a pick it, which means that you should watch it, or flick it, which means that you shouldn't because it's that bad. For me personally, this is a flick.
Really?
I just don't think it's worth watching.
Okay, I was going to say the opposite. I was going to say it's a pick for me for the sole reason that it's definitely not the worst of the series.
It's not.
And the thing Tosh said as soon as it was over, man, was this thing breezy. It was there
Hour
and
and a half.
gone. And
Hour and a half, in and
we
out.
had just seen Batman not too long ago.
And
so,
then we watched
just watched
Dune.
Dune.
yeah, and you guys watched Dune like last night.
Like 3-hour movies is great for us. Like we're just like cool, whatever.
I forgot that movies could be a swift 90 minutes and we're out of here.
Well, that's why
So-
and again calling out our cinematic catch-up. That's why I like Pig. It was
Yeah,
90 minutes
that's
long.
right.
We were in and out of a great movie.
You know what? And I have seen Pig now, 9 out of 10 for
Oh,
anyone.
whoa.
Yep. But
Double review.
I had read that like an hour of that movie was cut out, which was
Oh,
great.
really?
I'm
That's
glad
good.
they
No,
did.
no. That's great.
Right.
Yeah, when you don't overcomplicate it.
Mm-hmm.
That was good. So, flick from me, pick from you, Tasha.
I'd pick it.
You're going to pick it. Okay.
Like Luke said, it flew by. I feel like most of it was action. Like there was a lot of kills
There was.
in an hour and a half. And quite honestly, it was fun to laugh at and make fun of with friends.
So this is what's really interesting about our show, though, is because I am curious on what you guys are going to rate it out of 10, because I bet my score is going to be different from yours, and I flicked it.
Yeah.
So here's my only defense on flicking it, is although 4 is bad, there's history in the making on that, and the first 4 movies, I think, have become such a classic and essentials to the horror enthusiasts out there.
Yeah.
This is not one of them.
Well, because that first 4 is like every movie is so different.
Yeah.
That it's fascinating.
yeah, and it creates a character that we all like different versions of.
Yeah.
And for me, this wasn't it. This was not it.
I'm still debating.
You're
if
breathing in your.
3D is worse or not. That's what I'm.
I will argue the fact that 3D is worse just because of the twist that happens in it.
Yeah, and I haven't seen 3D in a long time,
I
so
saw
I'm
it in
gonna have to give
theaters.
it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to give it a rewatch.
That was the last time I saw it. I saw it in the theaters. It's been that bad. Tasha, you start 1 out of 10, or between 1 and 10. What's your score here? I already know mine.
I think I'm at like a 4.5.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, because it's like it wasn't great.
Yeah.
You know.
Luke, have you been thinking?
You give me yours first. and then
Okay.
I gave it a 5 and then I dropped it down.
Wow,
Yeah.
a 5. That's pretty wicked.
A 5.
All right, Vox, lay it on us.
I'm giving this a 5 out of 10.
Wow.
Yep. I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10.
Okay, so I feel a lot better about my answer.
Strictly because the kills and the gore.
Here. Yeah.
Other than that,
All right, so I'm gonna give it a 9.
What?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my god.
Guys, we're now taking applications for a new host.
No, this was maybe a 3 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, I figured.
Probably closer to a 2 because I have 3D as a 2. I'm gonna have to rewatch that soon, and that if you want to check out my Letterboxd, I have a TCM ranking.
Yeah.
And
I'll watch 3D with you.
All right,
I'll watch it too. Yeah, fuck it.
And we'll come back and
I have Texas Chainsaw 3 as a 5, and for me,
I think that's where I have it too.
On the gore and kill scale, this was there. Like this was it. Everything else on this was not it. It was just not.
All I do know is
that's why I dropped it down.
Comparing this to Halloween Kills, I don't want to hear anybody talk about how bad the writing in Halloween Kills is ever
Halloween
again.
Kills was like
Halloween Kills.
So did I. Like Halloween Kills was exciting though, because it was the first time we had seen something like this. For the same reason that Spider-Man No Way Home was exciting.
Because Dick Warlock and Nick Castle came out of portals. And then him and James Jude Courtney, the 3 Michael Myers, were...
They just start slashing everything up, you know? It's just... They're the first of its time stamp. Like, now everything else following it is going to be the same thing. You know what I mean? Can you imagine what they do with Jason when they finally bring him back?
Yeah, when all the lawsuits are done. And
can you imagine,
LeBron
what
James
they're going to do with
it?
Jason? Can you imagine if they just say, oh, by the way, the next movie that features Jason is a complete sequel to the first one, and he doesn't have his mask yet.
So just like the remake.
You know what I mean? It's gonna be shitty. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for watching.
Stay in school.
Drink lots of water.
Bye.